What's up, Bryan haters? Bryan Main here. I want to talk about some of the stuff that is maybe misconstrued about why he's so strong and what maybe doesn't make him as strong as people say. I feel like there's a lot of confusion about what parts of Bryan are actually OP and what's not, and what's just kind of part of his normal kit, so I want to go over a few of those things. Hopefully some of this information will serve to help people in their games against Bryan more often, rather than just getting frustrated with a matchup and not knowing why. First, I want to go over a couple things. This is not what makes Bryan OP. This is not what makes Bryan OP. This is not what makes Bryan OP. I understand that a lot of people don't like this type of character. Bryan is basically a touch of death counter hit character, which means as soon as he gets this, he gets a big combo. No heat mid-screen, that's 78 damage with pretty damn good wall carry. I could understand not liking that, but that's not what makes him innately broken right now. Incinerator, Enhanced Mach Punch, QCB1. These are what's making him way too strong. Bryan is a character that relies really heavily on timing, meaning that if he can land something like this while you're pressing buttons and he times it properly, he's going to get a big reward out of it. But that is supposed to be at the cost of his neutral being not so good. Granted, a lot of his neutral moves, like Requiem, it's -9 on block. His 1-2-1 strings are only -6 on block. Some of his bigger counter hits like this are -13, but they have a lot of pushback. Stuff like that is kind of why he's supposed to be not so great at the neutral. But then you have things like QCB1, which is +5 on block. It's a 13 frame startup with really, really long range, like ridiculously long range, that counter hits into a minimum 70 damage combo. This does not need to be +5 on block. This is one of the biggest reasons that he is way too strong. Having what functionally serves as a 13 frame electric is not something he should have. I think he's okay having this move, and thank God they nerfed it from last season, but being +5 on block is way too much, and I think not being minus enough on whiff is probably detrimental to the game. If you're not super familiar with the Bryan matchup, the counterplay to this move is to anticipate it and duck, or sidestep right. Most of the time you want to be sidestepping right against Bryan. Another big problem with QCB1 being +5 on block means that he gets to mix you into Requiem. If he just keeps throwing this at you over and over and over again in the neutral, he's going to land a counter hit eventually, and it's going to do big damage. And then you're kind of forced to guess when he's going to go into Requiem. So at the very least, QCB1 needs to not be +5 on block. It gives him way too much of an advantage in the neutral, which he's not supposed to have as this type of character. Neo Incinerator is his install move that is forward 2-1-2, 3-2. While he has this, he can go forward 2-1-2, which leaves it at -2 on block. He can also stop it at forward 2-1-2, 3 for -3 on block. And if he finishes the string, he's only -10, and he has so much pushback that you can't punish him, at least on mid-screen. If you're on the wall, it's a different story. You can get a 10 frame punish on him, which is still not nearly enough. So during heat, he can do this 4 times until his install runs out. 4 times in a row, he is basically untouchable in the neutral. That gives him opportunities to sidestep launch you. Pressing into it is just absolutely dangerous, so most people just wait out the full string. But yeah, this is one of those things that Bryan does not need to have. The whole point of Bryan is to have really good timing, get rewarded for landing counter hits, but when you give him a move like this, where he can just control the neutral freely, it kind of ruins the point of the character and makes him way too good at everything. Next up, Neo Mach Punch. This is a ridiculous move. It's kind of like QCB1. It's a high-hitting full reversal. I think the biggest problem with this move being a full reversal is that on top of doing pretty ridiculous damage and being a reversal, it also wall breaks and wall splats. Needless to say, on top of his insane wall pressure as it is, he does not need a full reversal, wall breaking, wall splatting move. This is way too strong. Not only is it +5 on block, the damage on it is pretty ridiculous. It's 36 damage on a punish, so if it actually reverses a move, and you take a fraction of the damage that you usually would, on counter hit, this is 43 damage. A ridiculous amount of damage, on top of being +5 on block. This is too strong. This is way too strong. He doesn't need this to have as many properties as it does. I think this move would be fine just being a reversal with no wall splatter, no wall break. I really don't think he needs it. That and maybe increasing the frame startup from 13 to something higher, something more tolerable. Another thing that I want to talk about that I don't see talked about a lot is his new move, 4-1, that goes into backsway. This is the 12 frame true string that's works as a good punish. On top of that, it also made his combo strings way stronger and also way easier. I think a lot of the nuance with Bryan combos kind of got lost when this move was introduced. It made them a lot easier, kind of less timing based. You kind of just get free reward for it. His combos do feel good. I don't think this is a necessary move, and you can also taunt cancel into it for a free 30 damage as opposed to your usual 24 or 19. So yeah, 4-1, this move could either be nerfed or honestly just completely removed. I really don't feel like it's necessary for him to have. Last thing we want to talk about is Bryan's Heat Smash. Yeah, they were supposed to fix the tracking on a lot of this stuff, and it kinda worked, but Bryan's Heat Smash still will track you like crazy across the screen halfway through it. That needs to be fixed, without a doubt. It's a pretty good Heat Smash as is, but on top of that, more importantly, taunt Heat Smash is so easy to do, and it has such high reward. This needs to be not doable, or it needs to be a frame perfect input. This is one of the... I encourage anybody to get on Bryan and try doing this yourself. It's super easy. Pulling this off is honestly just way too easy for the amount of reward you get. It's a free 55 damage. He shouldn't be able to do this that easily. It's just way too much pressure, and also it's a guaranteed floor break, so if you're on a specific stage and he lands a taunt Heat Smash, oh well, I guess you're going down. That needs to be changed. It either needs to be taken out or it needs to be a frame perfect. So overall, let's go down the list. QCB1, this needs to not be +5 on block. This is way too strong. It's already a really good move as is, especially on counter hit. It essentially functions as a long range electric. And with Bryan, he gets insane wall carry, so he's going to get high reward off of it no matter what. It needs to be at least neutral on block, at the very least. Incinerator, this needs to have its frames changed. It needs to be made so that either there's no pushback on the last hit, or the frames get changed so he's far less advantageous during it, and he either is forced to finish the string and be punished, or not finish the string and be punished. Neo Mach Punch, they should take away the wall splat and wall break properties on this, otherwise maybe it's fine. They could even increase the frame startup of it, probably make it a little more tolerable, but everything else needs to go. 4-1, I'd say we could just get rid of this. I really don't think it's necessary. Either that or just nerf it hard. I think it makes his combos too easy, and it's just another really good punish he has for really no reason. And his Heat Smash, obviously, fix the tracking on it and take away taunt Heat Smash, or make it a frame perfect input, because it is way too high reward for how easy it is to do. Seriously, if you don't believe me, go pick up Bryan and learn how to do a taunt Heat Smash. It takes you like minutes. It's very easy. So just to round this all out, the things that make Bryan OP are not his counter hits. It's not his insane damage. It's not his insane wall carry. It's not his insane wall pressure. It's not even taunt jet upper. A lot of the things you have to do on Bryan are pretty hard, in my opinion. As a Bryan player, I feel like it's really hard and I get my ass kicked all the time. But the things that are making Bryan way too strong is the fact that he has access to some of the strongest neutral tools in the game right now. That's what makes him OP. I understand the frustration with a lot of people not liking playing against him, and I think a lot of people get it misconstrued that when they get counter hit, that's what makes Bryan broken. Yes, he has really good combo damage and good wall carry. That's what he's built for. If you take away a lot of his neutral tools that are just way overtuned right now, I think he'll be in a much healthier place. Hopefully that clears some things up for some people. I feel like there's a lot of stigma around Bryan, and people just seem to not like him for seemingly the wrong reasons. So hopefully this kind of clears things up, and hopefully it helps some of you. Thanks for watching, and stay foolish.